You need to divide it into two columns. You need to fold in half. And the left side needs to be titled rework on a separate sheet of paper. Fold it long ways, not hamburger, hot dog, long ways. And left side is titled rework. The right side is titled explanation/reflection. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the most missed questions. And if it happens to be one that you need to correct, we can correct it together when I go over it. Yeah, left half rework, right half explanation/reflection. No, long ways. Fold in half. Yeah, like that. Okay. Okay, so this is an example of what rework should look like. Okay, and this is probably one of the ones I'm going to go over because this is one of the ones that was most missed. But I'm going to talk about a different way to solve it. And then your explanation. Your explanation is you got to complete the sentence. Okay, to solve the problem I needed to do, and I missed the problem because. Okay, so you're telling me how to solve the problem. You just start the statement. To solve the problem I needed to blank, blank, whatever. If it's more than one step, you write it out. And I missed the problem because you can pick one of these choices, but I prefer you put it in your own words. Okay, so this was one of the problems that was missed. Okay, so what you can do is if you look on your report, and I think on the report, I might not have it on this one for this example. It was number, I think number 11, and I don't have it. Okay, so your report, remember, to the left here is the number of the question, then it gives you the question, and then over here is your response. So either if you have a check, that means you did it right. If you have an X, that means they did it wrong. So in this example, I don't have this question. So just take the time right now to look at your report to see if you missed this problem. I think it was number 11. Check on the report, guys. Fine. You might have to go to the second page. If you have an X next to this problem, you need to write this down. I'm going to redo it, okay? So this is what it looked like on the test. Okay, there's our percentage. So it said to simplify by, oh, let me get my eraser, sorry. It said to simplify by multiplying. So that's why I'm writing the problem over here under rework. Do we see how it's on the left side? Is everyone with me so far? Okay, so to solve this, you had to distribute each term. The first term was x, so you have to do x times x squared. And that would have gave you x to the third power. Then you would have to do x minus times this minus 2x. Do you need this problem? So this would be minus 2x squared. Then you take that first term, x times the 2. That becomes plus 2x. Then you got to go to the next term. So now you're distributing the next term, which is the plus 3. So the plus 3 gets multiplied to the x squared right here. That becomes a positive 3x squared. This plus 3 gets multiplied as minus 2x. That becomes minus 6x. And this positive 3 gets close, so that becomes plus 6. So after here, you had to combine CLT, combine like terms. So you start with the highest exponent, which is this power of 3. So that's the first term. Then you go to the next highest, which would be this minus 2x squared and this plus 3x squared. When I combine them, I'm left with just x squared. Then you go to just x's. This is plus 2x and a minus 6x. That leaves you with a negative or minus 4x and then plus 6. This is our answer we should have got and matched with one of the answer choices. Now, I need everyone to watch this and do this part with me. Let's say you forgot, or let's say you want to check your work from your answer choices, okay? What I need you to first do, simplify right here, this, whatever expression they give you in the problem, make that equal y1. So get your calculator and let's type the expression in y1. Okay. So, I'll have to clear this one. We have to use the parentheses, x plus 3, then go to the next parentheses and have x squared minus 2x plus 2. Do this with me so you can use a calculator to check your work and understanding. After you correct the one you missed, yeah. Just turn your corrections in the tray. Okay. All right, so that goes in y1, the original problem or the original expression. Y2 is your answer, like what you thought is the answer. So we're going to type, we had x cubed, then it was plus x. Then we had, plus x squared, sorry. Then we had minus 4x and plus 6. I believe that's what I had. I'll double check. The answer we got, this is going to go in our y2. Yeah, so x squared, x cubed. Hold on just a second. So you hit, once you have both the original problem and the answer choice in, you hit graph. And if it's the exact same graph, then you did it right. Okay? I don't know if you noticed, I'm just going to go back to a standard graph. It's went on top of each other. I can see an incorrect answer by, if I would have put the answer choice that was number 1 here, which is x squared minus 3x plus 6. X squared minus 3x plus 6 and graph it. There are 2 different graphs here. They're not the same. So do we see how you can use the graph to match equivalent answers? All right, so, oops, that's our warm-up, sorry. So the next most missed question was this one. I forgot what number this one, but it was part of the graph of the quadratic is shown if the line of symmetry is x equals 1.25, between which 2 integers will the other part of the graph intersect the x-axis? So you got to be able to interpret, right? There's some key information here. They tell you the line of symmetry. They tell you where it's at. 1.25 means I can even kind of like sketch it here because it has to go through the middle. Between which 2 integers will the other, right here, intersect the x-axis. So here's the first one. And I can see those numbers right there. It looks like it's between 3 and 4. So if it's a parabola, then it's going to keep going down like such, right? And so we're trying to get between what other 2 integers would the other side go. Here's another way I can do this. If this is my axis of symmetry and that's the intersection, I have to go over this little tick mark, another tick mark, and a little bit past that. Tick, tick, a little bit past. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. A tick, another tick, and a little bit past that. And then that is, yeah. So if I look at that point, that is between a -1 and 0. Does that make sense? Okay, all right. The next most missed, make sure there's not one underneath here. No. Oh, I was kind of shocked. It was the one where you had to drag the points. Oh, because it's off the graph. So you have to explain how to get to the answer. Because like there's not work. You would have to say, I had to draw my axis of symmetry and count how many units I went to the right to be the same on the left. Because like there's not going to be actual computation. You're just going to explain how to reason on the graph. Okay. Okay, and so this one, yeah, this one, I don't know if it was because we didn't know how to drag the points right, but you could have just put this in the calculator. So I'm not sure if we're going to our y equals using that. So I'm going to clear this out. So we're just -x squared plus 2x plus 3. You might need to -x squared plus 2. We want to graph, but to see exact points, you need to look at your table. Sorry, second graph, to help you drag the points on the graph. Okay. So I don't know if I have this one up. Let me see if I have it up. Hold on. Which statement about the quadratic is true? Again, it's in standard form. It's equal to 0. So you should go straight to your calculator and do y equals 2x squared minus 5x plus 18. You should put this in the calculator and then match the statements to the equation. Okay, so we're typing that in, 2x squared minus 15x plus 18. Then we hit graph. Can I see y equals? And can I hit zoom 6? So one of the questions it asked, or no, sorry, one of the answer choices you had was the equation has no real solution. How do you know if it has no solution? If you look at a graph, how do you know it has no solution? Yeah, if it doesn't touch the x-axis. So like if I look at my graph, it touches it 1, 2 times. So it has 2 real solutions. The other thing, so I can't pick that. It says the equation has infinite solutions. No. So it says the equation has x equals 6 as its only solution. Well, I just said it has 2 solutions. So this was the only one that made sense. Okay, and so the next one, I do need to talk about this one. This was one of our most missed. To simplify the polynomial, show your work. Okay, on the rework, guys, we're going to do this together. Our explanation. Most of you are missing this because we're not understanding what y plus 11 squared means. It means that you have 2 factors. This means you have 2 factors. This right here, 2 factors of this y plus 11. So I'm just going to write it twice. Y plus 11 times y plus 11. This is what you were supposed to do. And then you were supposed to do your FOIL. So y times y for the first term of the FOIL is y squared. Then the O is the outside number, y times 11. That's 11y, so it's positive there. Then the I in FOIL is the inside terms. That would be 11y again. And then the L in the FOIL is the last terms, which is 121. You had to combine your like terms. I'm just going to extend the page so you can write the final answer. Y squared plus 22y plus 121. Now, if you did a typing error, it should show you how you typed it. I had some students like miss it. They did the work right, but they wrote y22 like that. Or they put the 22 behind the y instead of in front of the y. That's the coefficient. So if you did a typing error, it should show you on your report, and then I can match it with your work to see if I need to add points. All right, and then I think our next most missed, yeah, this one. Okay. To find the roots means find the solution. Basically means find the x-intercepts. But to do that, this has to equal to 0. So you were supposed to take this 10 and move it to the other side, which means you would have x squared minus 10x. I'm sorry, minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. So then you have to go y and type in x squared minus 3x minus 10. Then you have to graph it and find the x-intercepts. So I'm only addressing the most miss, which that was the last one of our most miss. If you have more to correct, then you need to correct them. You have to have corrections done in order to retest if you need to retest. Retest will be for only students below a 70. Okay? To get to a 70, you'll take another test similar to this one online. It will be set that you have to make a 70 in order to get the score. So keep your report, guys. You keep the reports. I just want your rework paper, okay? And then when you're done with the reworking or the corrections, remember the color papers in the corner for you to pick up, and you can start on the Edpuzzle.